Okay, I believe we are live, and I'm just going to double check, make sure that everything is, yes, I can see. Perfect.
We're coming from
So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this, good time. Thanks for being here. Once again, I'm Jason King,
and I'm Simon Magnus.
and this is our third in a beautiful series of Facebook Lives, where this time we're talking about how we lead or facilitate from love.
Mm.
And we have our weekend workshop, The Sensual Heart, coming up in just 5 days. It's opening this Friday. We've been having a lot of conversations with participants and with friends around the workshop and hearing what people are excited about and also what people might be nervous about. And it's led Simon and I to have some really good conversations around how do we create a lot of safety in this space? How do we create a space that's really welcoming to everyone, that's able to meet all of you wherever you are in your life, wherever you're coming from right now? And a big piece of that is facilitating from love.
Mm. And like not just looking at it from the places of the practical point of view, like creating where we will create a safe space around making sure the timings are there, making sure that practically you feel safe in that container. But what is the underlying dimension of the entire thing? Like, what is it that me and Jason really bring? And from that point, where do me and Jason as co-facilitators in this and co-creators, where do we connect?
Mm, yeah. So to me, like facilitating from a place of love starts with me actually being really grounded in my own body, that I'm really coming from a place of clarity, from a place of groundedness, so that I can be fully in service to all of the participants who come to my work. Because my number one objective is really to be of service here. And with that, to be able to see as clearly as I can where people are coming from. And people might be coming from all different walks of life, and they might be coming here for a lot of different reasons. They may have had a lot of experiences in the past, and this may be something that's totally new to them. So I'm really seeking to meet each of you, each participant, really as your own unique person with your own unique story, and really being able to see and listen to where everyone is in the moment.
And I think that's kind of the important point with anything we're running. It's like we can do as much thinking and planning and talking beforehand, but what we do in the room is responsive to the people that appear in that room and in that place. And for me, that's sort of really where I connect my heart with the people here of like, how can I support who's in this group? How, and some people need support in very different ways. Some people might need support of just being held and feeling they have permission and safe enough to explore their sexuality or to explore opening their heart, to explore connection in kind of a softer, more gentle way. And they just need softness and permission. Other people might need some encouragement and need to know that like we're there for them, and we're like, it's still the different ways of parenting. It's like one person might need someone to hold their hand and do a thing. The other person might need the parent to stand behind and clap them on and be a cheerleader. The other person might ask the parent, could you please give me a push because I'm scared? And it's like, how do we engage and ensure that what we are offering in a space is able to be open enough and safe enough for people of different places and different experiences to all come together and work from a place of connection. And
Mm,
similar to Jason, that is about getting grounded in myself and getting honest with myself and getting honest that I am also not perfect. And I also sometimes need my hand being held, and or someone pushing me from behind, or someone just saying, come to me, I'm here for you. And yeah, being honest with myself with those moments as well.
yeah. I think in this work, I make a lot of invitations invitations to step into different practices, invitations to step into perhaps vulnerable spaces, perhaps spaces where we meet ourselves in deeper ways, which can be scary. And as you just said, Simon, the first thing with an invitation is there's no expectation.
Mhm.
There's no right or wrong way to respond to that invitation. So anyone who comes to my work is always has a lot of choice around how they want to be in the space. Do you feel like participating? Maybe you feel really full. Maybe you feel a little overwhelmed. You can step out. Folks always have that choice. And then getting really curious around what is there. And so, how can I support people to be in that place of curiosity around whatever's coming up? And to me, a lot of that is normalizing the big range of experiences we can have as humans. That actually, sometimes when we step into intimacy, we can be really afraid, or it can touch on places of sadness, and we may not even know why in the moment. Or we may feel so ecstatic and joyful. And again, we may not even know exactly why. And my goal is to create a space where this full range of experience is really welcome and celebrated, because to me, that's what it means to be really alive.
Yeah. And I think that that can feel super vulnerable and could feel super scary. The idea that for me, before I started doing any of this work, the idea of being like free to be sad or tearful in a place in public actually felt more intense than somewhere to be joyful. But like to create a space that feels like it is holding enough for me to just explore those parts of myself, that gives space, that says it's okay here. And maybe in that space, all I start to, I'm not able to even get to the tears. The place that I get to is just the permission where I start to see, oh, it really is me standing in the way of my own tears here. And
Mm.
how do I, as a facilitator, as a co-creator, how do I create a space that even that in those moments is an invitation, and each step is an invitation into getting to learn more about yourself within this space. And that comes from a real place in my heart of like wanting to create spaces where people feel more free to be more of themselves and to be more of who they don't feel they can be in other places. And that comes from my own desires for myself as well. And like that's the world that I'm trying to create for myself. And that comes from a real sense of coming deeper into a sense of belonging in myself, that I belong in myself and in the world. So for me, what comes paramount when I engage with my heart in the space is how to create a space where people feel they belong, where they feel that they can let go and be seen. And a lot of that comes from spaces that I can be silly in. And yeah, making spaces that feel joyful and that have the whole range of possibility. And that feels like such a loving place to work from. And that brings me so much joy. And like you say, Jason, like there is also everything is an invitation. And we have spaces in the room for people to sit out, to sit on the side, to say, actually, I'm overwhelmed or I just need some space and I'm okay. And maybe they're not okay. And there is the invitation there is always to ask for support. That's one of the amazing things when you have multiple facilitators and assistants in the room is there's always support available. And yeah, for me, that feels such a beautiful thing that I feel at this point in my life I'm able to bring and able to give.
Yeah, belonging is such a key piece. And I think that that's really at the core of opening a space with a lot of love, is that it's a space where everyone's welcome, where everyone can really belong here, where your process is really honored, and where you as a person is really honored and held with a lot of respect. So yeah, that I think that just touches the essence so well.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're curious, I mean, both me and Jason run multiple things, and then this weekend is the Sensual Heart, kicks off on Friday, and yeah, we'll put some details in the comment section underneath, or maybe even above. But yeah, it's a weekend of opening up and melting into what are your possibilities, and the invitation is, how do you want to belong more in yourself and in connection with other people? So yeah, if you're
Beautiful.
get in touch.
Yeah, thank you. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions, and you'll see more of us soon.
Bye.
Thanks.